Happy holidays. It's Dr. Jones here. And I wanted to just hop on and, just give a gentle reminder that, I think adults should have fun and play during the holiday season just as much as you like to create the magic for little kids. Also, remember to create some magic for yourself as well. And if I may, I'm going to share a story with you, my own personal story. So I like to go see Santa Claus and get pictures taken with Santa Claus. And I didn't do it last year, but my plan is to do it this year. And I like to go to San Francisco, to their big Macy's downtown. There's something magical, always magical and special about San Francisco, and nobody, in my opinion, does Christmas like Macy's does. Macy's in Chicago, Macy's in any major city is wonderful, but I really like how San Francisco does their Macy's down in Union Square. And so I try to make plans to make a trek down there and experience Union Square once a year. And one year my mother decides that she wants to come, and my mother is a bit it's interesting. As I get older and she's gotten older, she's you almost have to parent your parents. So my mother, she gets a little squirrely and rambunctious when people get in her personal space. And if you've ever been to San Francisco, in particular Union Square, you know that it's a big place where a lot of tourists like to go. It's home for me, but a lot of tourists like to go there, and it can be rather crowded. And so I always have to prep my mother before we go, like, hey, don't keep hands, feet, and other objects to yourself, because she's been known to like karate chop people, when if they get in her way or if they get a little too close, she can get a bit rambunctious and fired up. And I don't want her to get fired up into anything, because if she gets herself into a mess, then naturally I have to also get involved. But anyhow, so I prep her, we're gonna go see Santa. We're gonna go, see the trees at Macy's and have a good time, and, don't get out there acting up. So we go out there, and she's already acting up a little bit. I don't want to go see Santa. I don't know that man. I don't want that man touching me, and blah blah blah. And I don't like the idea of visiting with Santa. Okay. So she's fighting the whole way, but we get into Macy's, and she's like, oh my gosh, she sees all the magic of Macy's just like I do, and so she's in love. We're taking pictures with the big bears and the soldiers and the big Christmas, the mailbox to the North Pole and all of this kind of stuff. I'm telling you, if you've never been to the San Francisco branch of the North Pole, you need to go. So we finally work our way around to Santa Claus. We're in line. She doesn't want to see, I don't want to, this and that. Okay, that's fine. So I said, well, here, you hold our coats, and I'm going to go see Santa and have a picture taken with him. So we get to the front of the line, and Santa's like, well, she's still standing with me in line. Santa says, well, girls, come on. And so she decided, oh, last minute change. She's like, okay, I'm with it now. She's with it now. So we go and we take pictures, and we're talking to Santa, and I'm telling Santa, hey, I kind of want to take pictures. It's okay if I stand up, because at that time I was every bit of a size 12, and my mother's much smaller than me, but I'm every bit of a size 12. And I'm not ashamed about that. And so Santa says, oh, no, you girls are going to get the full experience. I want y'all to sit all the way on Santa's lap. So now I'm looking at Santa, and Santa's looking at me, and I said, Santa, I think you're a bit nasty, but okay, we'll roll with it in the spirit of Christmas. And so we take our pictures with Santa, and it was a good time. We took a couple pictures. It was fine. And my mother is like that. She's the type of person that, if there's a picture taken, it becomes hers automatically. It's my picture, you know. She becomes quite obsessive over, you know, having the pictures. And so she had the picture at Macy's and this and that and the other. And we, you know, we continue, you know, on with our day, having, you know, having fun times, watching the people ice skate. So I took her out and let her watch the people ice skate, and it was a fun time. And naturally, there's people taking pictures. There's a huge, huge tree in Union Square, so naturally people are taking pictures in front of it. And so I said, well, let's get on out there and take a picture in front of it. And so we got out there, and I let her take her picture. And then, you know, there's other people with other families out there taking pictures too, you know, on all angles of the tree. So, you know, I let her go out there, and she starts jumping in other people's pictures, you know, other families' pictures as they're taking the pictures. And so, you know, I have to go and get her and reel her back in, because, you know, she's like, you know, people are just trying to enjoy their moment. And so she's starting to enjoy it too much now, so much that she's making memories with people that she doesn't even know, and having a good time. And so we reel it back in. But you know, and now, you know, every year, you know, this is, my mother's the type of person like, bah humbug, I don't want to go see Santa, I don't want to do this whole thing at Christmas. And you know, I don't, you know, now every year she's like, oh, you know, the Santa, are you going to see Santa? And, you know, doing the Macy's and things like that. So now it's, you know, it becomes more of a thing where she's very inquisitive and very excited about the spirit of Christmas. And I share that story with you all because sometimes we can get so caught up in the monotony of life, you know, being adults, paying bills, you know, putting food on the table and things like that. And we lose sight of what, you know, life is all about. And sometimes it's all about you being a kid again and having experiences. And you know, going to see Santa Claus could be on that list, you know, and it could bring a special sort of joy back into your life that you didn't even know was missing. You know, seeing the Christmas lights. See, even, you know, for me, I even like to watch little kids, you know, get excited and just sort of, you know, there's a big carousel downtown in San Francisco. It's all this kind of magical stuff, right? So, you know, I think even just being around children sometimes, child's energy, of being excited and like experiencing things like that could also, it's very contagious, is what I'm trying to say. And it can be contagious to you if you allow it. So, you know, don't forget, if you can. You know, I know this year is very different. It's very tight for a lot of people, but if you can do it, try to experience magic, you know, for the holidays and every day really, you know, in your city, in your town, or, you know, come on down to San Francisco and let's go to San Francisco Macy's and have a great Christmas experience. Happy holidays to you all.